had a good summer, when you have really bad tan lines. The last time I filmed a book haul on this channel was months ago. I don't even know when. Probably back in like February, I think. I'm not even sure. I don't even know. I have been in an absolute terrible reading slump since the beginning of this year. I have not read much this year, which is actually really alarming because each year I try to complete this goal of reading at least 12 books because 12 months, 12 books, book a month, you get the picture. And so with that being said, I realized that I was really behind on my goal, and so I really wanted to try to get myself out of a reading slump, and what better thing to do than to get more books. Also, before we get into this is a cumulative haul, so I didn't get all this at once, I guess you can say. I got some of these from a library book sale, and then I even have a book that I ordered that miraculously arrived today. First book that I'm going to be talking about is a book that I ordered from Book Depository, which I've never ordered from, but I'm pretty sure that they're like located in the UK. This book in particular obviously shipped from the UK because I wanted this book in the UK cover, and that is Heaven by Miko Kawakami. So this book, funny story, one of my favorite ever of all time book reviewers would have to probably be Jack Edwards. Ariel Bazette is like a close second, but Jack Edwards is just like an amazing book reviewer. I love his book reviews, and he talked about this book, and the way that he described it and talked about it and everything really inspired me to get it, so I ordered it. And yeah, also, by the way, this is not sponsored by Book Depository, but they have great deals. They have a lot of discounts and free shipping. Considering the fact that it's shipping from the UK to the US and it's free shipping is like cool. I don't know. I don't know. Do what you want with that information. But this is a really short book, and it's written by a Japanese author, and if there's one thing that you should know about me and my reading is that I love reading Japanese translated fiction because I noticed a pattern, and it's that every time I read a book that's like translated from Japanese, it is absolutely the most beautiful writing that I've ever read. Like, it's always so beautiful, even if the topic or the book deals with trauma or terror or like anything traumatic. I don't know. It always ends up being super beautifully written, and that's why I love reading Japanese translated fiction. This is a book about a 14-year-old boy that gets insanely bullied by his classmates for his lazy eye. And the only person that kind of empathizes with him and knows what he's going through is this girl that's also in the same class, and she gets bullied as well. And so I think it's like their relationship, like they meet, they make a pact, and it's just kind of like an exploration of like relationships built on trauma, I guess. It's also really short, so even if I don't like it, it's not like I'm gonna be reading it forever. So yeah. Also, I got a bookmark along with this book. I love when I order books and wherever I order it from, that brand or that publisher or whatever sends bookmarks. It's so nice, and it's like such a nice touch too. It makes you more excited to read. It's awesome. Also, it's shortlisted for the 2022 International Book Prize, Booker Prize, sorry. Not that I would care, but no, going on. These next books that I'm about to show you are all from a library book sale, and I paid 50 cents for all of these. Just, you know, just putting that out there. The first book that I have here is called Fly on the Wall by E. Lockhart, which I actually already managed to read because it's so short. I read this in 2 days. So I read this pretty quick, almost pretty much right after I got it, I started reading it. The reason why I picked this book up is because I heard Ariel Bazette talking about this book, and she's one of my favorite book reviewers here on YouTube. And with that being said, I always trust her opinions and I trust her book reviews and whatever, and I've read books before which were recommended by her, like on her channel, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna read it, and then I actually kind of enjoyed it. But this was a major fail. This book is essentially about a girl that wakes up one day and realizes that she has been turned into a fly. She doesn't know why, she doesn't know when or how or whatever, but basically she is only able to be in a boys' locker room at her high school. Like, that's where she's, like, she can't leave, she's just always there, she's stationed in the boys' locker room. It's a really perverse book, is all I'm gonna try to say. This girl, I think she's like 15 or 16 in this book, and it's just so highly unlikely for her to be saying the things she's saying. I thought that this would be like a funny, cute little book, but it actually was far from it. And I was so disappointed because this idea had so much potential. This idea of someone turning, it's kind of like Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka, which I've actually never read, but I'm assuming that book is probably better and was probably executed better. But anyways, this was a major fail. I'm so sorry I rated this 1 star, but if you ever get the chance to read this book, don't. Next book that I have here is Cat's Cradle by Kurt Vonnegut Jr. I got this book because I have read Kurt Vonnegut before. I read God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater, which is a pretty good book. I was gonna say that I really enjoyed it, but it was a slow burn for sure. However, I think the overall message was really just like important and powerful, and I really enjoyed the ending. I never intended to read Cat's Cradle. However, I do want to read a book by him called Welcome to the Monkey House, I believe, because I thought the title was funny and whatever. But yeah, I saw this book and I was like, I have it. It's actually pretty good condition for being like used in like a library book sale, so I was like, hey, why not? And also the cover is quite interesting too. Also, I don't know what it's about. I just got it because it was written by Kurt Vonnegut Jr. Sorry. Next book that I got is Agatha Christie's, I think it's a short story collection because it says the Harley Quinn tea set and other stories. So I think it's just like a mystery short story collection. I know so many people that love Agatha Christie, okay? Including my mom. She's like her biggest fan. And I have given Agatha Christie 2 chances. I read Sad Cypress and I also read Halloween Party, and both of which were like 3-star books. Like they weren't anything special, but they weren't also like terribly bad. So they're like in between. But it was like it wasn't very complex. Whenever I read mystery or crime or murder mysteries, anything of that nature, I like when it's super complicated and complex and it's like to the point where it just boggles your brain and you're unable to figure out what is going on. But her books are very like, you start the book, you get to know the mystery, and then you pretty much know the ending within like the first 10 pages. No offense to all the Agatha Christie fans, but that's just like my personal opinion. But I want to see why people love her so much, so that's why I'm giving her a 3rd chance. However, this book has many short stories, so I feel like I'm bound to find at least one that I like, and if I don't, I'm going to be terribly, terribly sad because I've given her so many chances and I'm just not really clicking. I'm not really clicking with the writing or anything, so yeah. I'm not entirely sure what these stories are about, so I apologize that I'm not really describing the books, but this is how it looks like. I hope that's enough. Next book that I got, please don't judge me for it. I got it because I thought it was funny, and it's called Bad Boys to Go by Lori Foster, Janelle Dennison, and Nancy Warren. So this is a book that's written by 3 different authors, and in the back it has like descriptions of 3 different stories. So I think it's like 3 different stories altogether. I got this book because I thought the title was funny, and I thought that this would be one of those like super crappy romancy books, which are so hilarious to read and so cringy at the same time. But I got this only because I was like, hey, I am probably never going to see this again, and I feel like it's calling my name. So yeah. On the back it just says, it has 3 stories. So there's one story called Bringing Up Baby, the second one is called The Wild One, and then the third one is called Going After Adam. So I'm assuming these are like 3 different stories of like bad boys. I don't know. I literally don't know. But I'll read you one of the stories. I will read, let's go with Going After Adam. So.
Or leave her weak with attraction. Adam Stone is a whistleblower and even her not to fall for their own masquerade.
That is so far from anything that I merely enjoy reading. No. Never mind, that does not sound fun at all, but I will keep it on the back burner. Next book that I got, I'm really stupid for getting because literally it says it's the 3rd novel in the best-selling Mitford series, and it says it in bold on top. Like, what? Clearly I do not have the other 2 books, so I don't know why I got this. I thought it looked super cute. It looked like a cute little town. It looks like kind of like Stars Hollow from the Gilmore Girls show, and that's why I got it. But it's just called These High Green Hills. Let me read to you the very beginning of the description. In these high green hills, we're once again in Mitford, a southern village of local characters so heartwarming and hilarious you wish you lived right next door. Doesn't that sound like absolutely amazing? Like, that sounds so nice, but I'm so upset that this is like the third book of a series, which at some point maybe I'll get the first 2 books. That's highly unlikely though, because I just don't care enough. But if I ever come across the first 2 books in a library book sale, you know I'm getting them. Okay, and the last and final book that I have here is questionable, to say the least. It's called Beyond a Reasonable Doughnut by Ginger Bolton. I got this book because at first glance, this looks like YA, or like almost middle grade, because it's like colorful and it's like this illustration of a cute little fair. But I read the back and it sounded quite interesting. Listen to this. So yeah, I got this because I just love the fact that it's like a mystery in a carnival, that there's some crime, there's some murders in a carnival. It's just, the setting is so intricate. I don't know if you guys know, but if you guys are familiar with, I think it was Joey, can't think of the name, Joey Graceffa, there we go. Joey Graceffa had this series on YouTube. I don't know if he's still continuing with filming, but it was like a series on YouTube, which is very much like it felt like a Netflix series. It was pretty good. And it was like a whole bunch of these like mysteries, and some of them actually like took place in a carnival, and it was like super scary, whatever. I don't know. I really hope that this is something similar to what I watched. I don't know, that probably makes no sense. I am so bad. This is why I'm not a booktuber, because 1, I don't know how to describe books. Number 2, I don't think I'm smart enough or well-read enough to have any kind of important input on the book industry, because who cares, right? Who cares what my opinion is? But let me tell you, at some point I will film more book videos, and I will have the most honest descriptions ever, because a lot of people sugarcoat. If I were to predict which book I would actually enjoy, probably none of these. I don't know. After reading the descriptions, I'm kind of scared. Anyways, that is it for my book video, book haul, if that's what you want to call it. I don't know, not super familiar with this content. My channel literally is so random. There's no rhyme or reason to it, so I don't even know why I'm like sitting here pretending to be some kind of smart, well-read person. However, I do read a lot, so I guess some people would consider me well-read. Anyway, I hope you find this video interesting. I don't know what to say. Goodbye.